Today is a very good day because I can finally talk about Monster Hunter Rise on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. I have been playing this for the last couple weeks, pretty much non-freaking stop, and I have to say, legitimately, this is the best version of Monster Hunter yet. And I say that as a person who's been playing it for 15 freaking years. But what is it that makes this different? What is it that makes it better? Let's talk about that. The goods, the bads, and the tiny bit of ugly. What's up, gamers? DreamcastGuy here. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. So first and foremost, this is technically not a completely new game or anything like that. It is just straight up Monster Hunter Rise. When this game originally came out back in 2021 on the Nintendo Switch, I played it quite a bit. I actually got very, very addicted to the hunts, to leveling up, to playing a bunch of co-op, but I always kind of wanted to see how good the graphics could be. On the Nintendo Switch, it didn't look spectacular. Now here on a next-gen console, you kind of see how glorious a lot of these crazy epic 5-stage boss fights are really supposed to be. Now first off, let me talk about the best part about this as a person who's returning to Monster Hunter Rise. This includes all of the free updates. When Monster Hunter Rise initially came out, it was just dropped out there on the shop. Everybody bought it, everybody loved it, and then the developers did a huge bunch of patches. Huge updates that included new monsters, extra tweaks, changes, extra quests. Now these were something that are now on the Nintendo Switch, but buying this version, you get all that stuff right up front, meaning that there is just a load of content in this game straight out of the gate. There is 11 different weapons, there's like 50 different bosses in the game. I mean, so much to do. Even playing it this last couple weeks, I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. But let's talk about the biggest change that I feel like you're going to notice, which is, of course, the upgraded visuals. After the initial debut of Monster Hunter Rise on Nintendo Switch, it came to PC, and the Steam version obviously looked a lot better. They had much higher resolution assets, no load times. You're basically getting that here with a little bit of extra spruce. Most importantly, if you play this game on Xbox, it's coming to Game Pass, so I feel like 99% of the audience is of course going to get it there. On the Series X, it looks completely insane, but if you play it on the PlayStation 5 like I did, it is a rock solid 60 frames a second. It has an optional 4K graphics modes on both next-gen consoles, which looks completely spectacular, especially in stuff like the big cityscapes and stuff. When you're walking around the village and talking to people, you really get a chance to gawk at those little tiny details like falling rose petals. But specifically on the PlayStation 5, they've added in haptic triggers. So all the weapons, or a bunch of them, when you're firing your bow or trying to swing a big old heavy sword, it really reacts with the triggers themselves. And they've also done some 3D audio tweaks, meaning that if you play this with a pair of headphones, it's really deeply audio built. There's layers of sound that exist in this that make it so that when a creature is trying to creep up behind you, or you're just trying to rush down a waterfall, it really sounds so hyper realistic. And I very much love that from a technical standpoint. But I want to talk about what makes Rise different from Monster Hunter World. I do know that World was a huge success specifically on the Xbox and the PlayStation, so I know that a lot of people are going directly from Monster Hunter World directly into Rise, and you're probably wondering, what is it that makes it feel different? Well, the biggest change is that this is definitely a faster game. Weapons are quicker, combos are, well, easier to pull off. A lot of the balancing has been much more tooled and tailored. This feels like a very refined experience over the occasionally clunky elements of Monster Hunter World. Rise is definitely a sequel of sorts. It is an expansion of a lot of those ideas, and honestly, with so much content, it's fun to just play this game again and again and again to max out your particular hero. The way the gameplay loop works in Monster Hunter Rise is that basically you select a particular target. When you're in town, you go up to the quest booth and you say, all right, that's the monster I want to kill next. And then you go into the wild, whether it is frozen tundra, swampy jungles, or sometimes just crazy desert plains, and then you have to try and kill it at all costs. Now, defeating that monster breaks it apart, depending on if you smash off its horn, manage to gut it, or break off pieces of its tail. You can take that loot back to town and upgrade your armor, crafting completely new suits of gear, better weapons, or sometimes completely different elemental types, which makes you better at the next hunt. Now, in my opinion, the most addictive aspect of Monster Hunter Rise is that replayability of trying to figure out, how do I take down that next big target? As you keep killing stuff, you upgrade your Monster Hunter rank, making it so you actually become, well, more renowned, more powerful, and unlock even later quests. And as you do that, you really do have that sense of becoming stronger. This game has such a fantastic amount of pacing to it. The power creep, getting that bigger weapon, figuring out how to craft a more efficient potion, trying to make it so that your little tiny helpers, like my characters here, which are subscribe and like the video, they're actually there leveling up, getting new skills, helping me in combat by stunning enemies. There's also a completely new mechanic that's added in Monster Hunter Rise where you can ride monsters in the middle of combat. If you stun them enough, you can straight up just jump on the back and remote control them with your little ninja wires. This looks quite frankly awesome, but it's also incredibly freaking deadly. I love the time where there's another monster that stomps into the territory of my particular target, and I'm trying to whittle him down, and he's a really tough foe, and then suddenly some other monster starts to pick a fight, and I just have to try and choose which one am I going to attempt to take over, and then have them beat each other up like 9-ton Pokemon. I love the mechanics of this game, even just straight up using my ninja wire to run up walls or find different hidden unlockables. The maps we play on have different checkpoints. You can actually get further camps to get better fast travel. You can choose to, instead of having a target, just explore the forest and make extra potions or more bombs or extra lures. There is such a fun depth to Monster Hunter Rise that I feel like everybody is going to get just as into as I am. There is one tiny detriment to this specifically though. Unfortunately, this game, it's $40, so it's not $60. It includes all the free updates that Rise originally got, but this does not include Monster Hunter Sunbreak. This feels a little bit weird in my opinion because Sunbreak has already been out for an entire year on the Nintendo Switch. I mean, Sunbreak is done. It's complete. The monsters, the patches, the free updates that got, they are completely complete. But when you start this game up, it actually has a screen that appears that says, hey, play the game now and you'll get Sunbreak here in a couple months. And I guess that feels a little bit weird. I believe that as this currently stands, this is digital only. You can buy the game digitally on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, or Xbox, but I fully believe they're going to release like a physical edition later on. Of course, they're going to sell the Sunbreak DLC just as its own thing, but I feel like they're going to do like a Sunbreak edition physical disc for the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4 later on to try and get people like me who are collectors to double dip. I mean, really, there's no reason why Sunbreak shouldn't just be released right now. Like maybe make it so the game costs $40, but if you want the game and Sunbreak, you have to pay like $60. It feels very pointlessly time gated, but hey, I'm not a Capcom executive. As it stands, I love this game. It doesn't quite look as good as other PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X games because clearly it was made for the Nintendo Switch, but as it stands, the game is very polished and incredibly going to get its hooks in you. So try it on Game Pass, play it on PlayStation, and tell me what you think of it. But please do me a big favor, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. You know what? I don't know why. I'm filming this. These spotlights are extra hot. If it looks like I'm melting, consider it that I'm in the swampy deserts of Monster Hunter Rise.